Imagine standing in the center of a violently raging storm. The wind is howling, the rain is crashing down relentlessly, but inside your mind there is absolute, unshakable silence. Most people live their lives completely at the mercy of the storm around them, reacting to every insult, over-explaining every decision, and allowing the chaos of the outside world to dictate how they feel. But there is a rare type of person who never seems rattled, someone who carries a quiet strength that commands respect without demanding it. Welcome to the architecture of inner stability. Today, we are going to explore 50 powerful Stoic principles designed to make you emotionally untouchable, delivered step by step, so you can start living with unmovable Our first principle sets the foundation for everything. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. When a plan fails or someone disrespects you, you don't need to panic because you control the internal fortress. The second principle builds perfectly on this, reminding us that it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. For example, a harsh comment from a coworker is just noise. It's your reaction that gives it power. This leads to our third principle, which is brutally honest. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Think about how many times you have ruined your own evening worrying about a confrontation that never even happened. The fourth principle to master is understanding that the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. If you fill your mind with resentment, your life will feel resentful. The fifth principle demands that you claim your autonomy, because no man is free who is not master of himself. If you can't govern your own emotions, someone else will govern them for you. The sixth principle shifts how we view problems. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. When you face a setback, it isn't blocking your path, it is giving you a chance to practice resilience. Seventh, remember that he is most powerful who has power over himself. True power isn't about yelling the loudest in a room, it's about staying completely centered when everyone else loses control. The eighth principle warns us that the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. The media you consume and the complaints you entertain are actively shaping your identity. Ninth, you must first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. You cannot just wish to be calm, you have to practice the pause before you react. And the 10th principle is a sobering reminder of our mortality. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Letting go of a pointless argument is much easier when you realize your time on earth is finite. Moving into how we handle our time and our boundaries, the 11th principle tells us that it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. Stop giving hours of your mental energy to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. The 12th principle instructs you to keep yourself in a state where you can direct your own life, for what belongs to others is beyond control. You cannot control if someone likes you, but you can control how you carry yourself. 13th, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Stop trying to prove your character to others through endless explanations and let your actions do the talking. 14th, choose not to be harmed and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed and you haven't been. An insult only lands if your ego catches it. The 15th principle is one of my absolute favorites for dealing with toxic environments. Be like the cliff against which the waves continually break, but it stands firm and tames the fury of the water around it. Let their emotional chaos crash against you while you remain completely unbothered. To become truly untouchable, we have to let go of constant desire. The 16th principle reveals that it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. When you stop desperately needing validation, you instantly become richer. 17th, embrace the fact that difficulties are things that show a person what they are. An easy life doesn't build a strong mind. 18th, the Stoics teach that you are a little soul carrying around a corpse. This dramatic imagery reminds us not to let temporary physical discomfort or vanity dictate our peace. 19th, a gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. Every frustrating person you meet is just sandpaper helping you polish your patience. And the 20th principle reminds us that no great thing is created suddenly. Emotional mastery is a daily practice, built step by step through ordinary, quiet decisions. As we continue, the 21st principle advises, do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you while you live, while it is in your power, be good. 22nd, we must accept change, because every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. 23rd, you will find peace when you realize that true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. The 24th principle acts as your ultimate moral compass. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. The 25th principle is a lifesaver when you feel provoked. The greatest remedy for anger is delay. Taking just a 3-second pause before firing back an angry text can save a relationship. The 26th principle warns against arrogance. It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. Always remain open and observant. 27th, remember that the greatest power is often simple patience. While others rush and panic, your slow, measured pacing will quietly give you control of the room. 28th, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Let people underestimate you. It gives you the ultimate freedom to work in silence. 29th, no man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself. 30th, use your biology to your advantage. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. When you speak less, your words naturally carry more weight. The 31st principle is a cornerstone of stoic psychology. Men are disturbed not by things but by the views which they take of them. 32nd, don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do happen and you will go on well. Fighting reality only causes exhaustion. 33rd, make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. 34th, stop looking for escapes, because nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. 35th, realize that he who is brave is free. 36th, if you seek tranquility, do less. This means stripping away the toxic friendships, the mindless scrolling, and the arguments that drain you. 37th, he who fears death will never do anything worthy of a living man. 38th, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. 39th, stop chasing respect from others, because he who respects himself is safe. And our 40th principle reminds us that he who is content with what he has is rich. Let's bring it home with the final 10 principles. 41st, if you seek truth, you will not seek victory by dishonorable means. 42nd, he suffers more than necessary who suffers before it is necessary. Stop borrowing grief from tomorrow. 43rd, the unexamined life is not worth living. You have to observe your own toxic patterns before you can fix them. 44th, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act but a habit. You become calm by practicing calmness in ordinary, boring moments. 45th, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. 46th, your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. 47th, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. 48th, instead of getting angry at people, realize that everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. 49th, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. And finally, our 50th principle, pleasure in the job puts perfection in the work. Fall in love with the daily process of mastering your mind, not just the end result. The world will continue to test your patience, project its chaos onto you, and demand a reaction. But the core lesson is clear. Real power was never about controlling other people. It is about finally gaining control over yourself. The strongest person in the room is rarely the loudest. It is the individual who remains grounded, observant, and unmovable while everyone else loses their emotional balance. Every time you choose silence over an impulsive reaction, you are not surrendering. You are actively building an inner citadel that no external force can penetrate. Stop handing your peace over to a world that doesn't care about it. The moment you stop giving your energy to everything outside yourself, you reclaim the ultimate prize, your own mind. Master your mind, hold your ground, become untouchable. If you are ready to stop living in reaction and start acting with absolute inner authority, do not let this journey end here. Subscribe, protect your peace, and remember, the true architecture of your stability is built in the quiet moments of discipline that no one else ever sees.